Welcome to Being a Parent, a series of short videos and strategies to help make family life a little less stressful.
Hello, my name's Beverly.
Hi, my name's Saika. And you'll also hear from our amazing parent group leaders who have tried and tested the strategies in their own homes. Here's another strategy for your toolkit: household rules. I'm sure we all have our own household rules that we don't even realise that we've got them in place, but it's just adapted, that it's part of your routine, and all your children, hopefully, and yourselves all follow these rules. Take a minute to think about any rules that you have in your home. We could have something like we all sit at the table to have our meal. You could be we always clean our teeth before bed, or we take our shoes off when we come into the house. So your household rules don't need to be set in any certain way. They'll be very different from the rules that maybe your next door neighbour or your friend or another family member may have in their house. And if we've got our children supporting us to make these rules together and sitting down and talking about what they want to change regarding the household rules, they're far more likely to follow the rules because they've been involved with putting them into place.
What's really good for me is when the children come in, I don't have to say, hang your coats up, because they know that's what happens. Yeah. So it kind of gets away from that kind of nagging them sort of thing.
Yeah. Look back at the strategies that we've covered over the last few weeks of how we could encourage those household rules to be followed through and to work with our children, and also to encourage our children to keep on using them.
So in our home, one key household rule that we have, because of our age of our children, is no electronics at the table. So we sit down as a family at the dinner table and we'll have dinner together, and there is no disturbances from any phones. That's for me, that's for my wife, and that's for our kids.
When we're talking about discipline and having rules and then consequences to them, if everyone's working from the same page, literally, you can even the children can help you decorate a list of household rules, and they can help you compile the household rules as well if this is a new thing in your household. Discuss with the children, what do they think of the rules, and so on. And then if everyone's working to the same sheet, then there is less quibbling about it. If everyone knows that that's what's meant to happen, then you can refer back to it as well. And then obviously these can be adapted as children get older. As my children have got over, it's turned more into don't take food into your bedrooms and things like that. And that's worked quite well, and they know that is, some things are a bit flexible and other things are rigid rules. And I think with age as well, there becomes the flexibility to rules, but certain rules stand the test of time and continue.
I used like a little chart, so I printed out some little pictures that they could stick on. They could do them in whatever order they wanted, but those 4 things needed to be done before they were allowed to play. And then we also had to implement a clock so that we knew what time it was and when it was time to go to school. And it did have an effect, especially on the youngest, that more visual thing for them to be able to see, have I done that? Have I done that? Oh, I haven't done that yet. You know, and like I said, they can do them in any order, but they all had to be done. And if there was time before we went to school, then they could play.
Children need to know what the boundaries are. They need to know what is and isn't acceptable, and they will always try to push those. But rules are there so that we can all live together and comfortably. Consequences is what I would use to enforce them, so that if they don't adhere to the rules, then there will be a consequence. And that has to be inventive, because that has changed as they get older. different things matter to them, so you have to change what that consequence will be. You know, for my 11-year-old, it's sort of taking away his phone or, you know, PlayStation or whatever. You know, that's something that actually, oh, I didn't want that to happen.
The reward charts do work, but I find just for a short period of time, just a week or something, just to implement a new household rule or something like that, then that really gets them going and encourages them and incentivizes them. And now they don't really need the reward chart as such. They've just got used to emptying the dishwasher in the morning, so that's good for the whole household.
So what I'd like you to do over the next week is to go home and look at the household rules that you've got in your household and think of how you could perhaps add some or change some and use some of the strategies to encourage those household rules.
Thank you.
Thank you.